Gentlemen, let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you woke up in the morning feeling that unmistakable surge of vitality, the kind that made you feel unstoppable in your younger years? For many men after 60, that natural sign of strength quietly fades away. You roll over, look at the clock, and realize the morning rise you once took for granted has become a rare visitor. But here's the good news. This doesn't have to be the end of the story. Aging may slow the body down, but it doesn't erase its potential. Hidden within your own anatomy are simple keys, pressure points that, when activated with gentle precision, can awaken your body's forgotten rhythm. No risky pills, no complicated treatments, just your own hands and a few minutes of daily attention. Before I reveal what these points are and how they work, let's pause for a moment. Why does this matter so much? Because this isn't only about physical function, it's about confidence, intimacy, and the way you feel when you look in the mirror each morning. When men lose those natural signals of vitality, it can quietly chip away at energy and self-belief. Reclaiming them means reclaiming far more than just erections. It means reclaiming a part of yourself. So, in this journey together, I'll guide you step by step. First, we'll uncover why these simple techniques are effective. Then we'll explore each point with care and clarity, weaving in real-life examples so you can see how other men have reignited their vitality. And finally, we'll wrap up with lessons that go beyond the body, practical reminders about health, mindset, and the importance of staying connected to life's deeper rhythms. Now, let's begin not with the what, but with the why. Why does stimulating specific points on the body create such a powerful chain reaction? To answer that, we need to look at the inner conversation between your brain, your blood, and your nerves. Part 1. The why behind it. Before we rush into the how-to, let's take a moment to understand the why. Why can a simple touch, a bit of gentle pressure in the right place, have such a powerful effect on something as complex as erections? Think of your body like an orchestra. When you were younger, every instrument, the nerves, the blood vessels, the muscles, played in harmony. The performance was automatic, effortless. You didn't have to think about it. The music played itself. But as years pass, some instruments fall slightly out of tune. The trumpets don't hit their notes as sharply, the strings sound a little dull, and the rhythm of the drums slows down. The orchestra is still there, it just needs a conductor to wake it up again. That's where these pressure points come in. They act like the conductor's baton. When touched in a specific way, they send a signal across your body. Wake up, play together, find your rhythm again. The nerves respond, the blood flows more freely, the muscles engage, and suddenly the old harmony starts to return. To put it in simpler terms, erections are not just about one body part. They're about communication. The brain sends messages, the spinal cord carries them, the nerves deliver them, and the blood vessels answer by opening up. But aging can cause static on the line. Signals slow down, circulation isn't as strong, and the result is that morning vitality doesn't appear as often as it once did. Let me share a quick story. A man in his late 60s, let's call him Robert, once told me, "I feel like my body forgot how to respond. I still feel desire, but the connection between my brain and my body feels broken." He thought it was gone for good, but when he learned that specific points could remind his system of its old patterns, he was shocked. He said, "It's like rebooting a frozen computer." And he was right. Sometimes the body just needs a reset. So here's the roadmap for what's coming. First, I'll walk you through how stimulating these points sends an urgent wake-up call through your nervous system. Then, I'll show you how each point connects to blood flow, muscle strength, and sensitivity. Finally, I'll share a simple daily routine, just minutes a day, that men around the world are using to bring back reliable morning confidence. Each step is designed to flow into the next, so by the time we're done, you won't just know the theory, you'll feel equipped to try it yourself, safely and confidently. Now that we've set the stage, let's take the first step deeper. Let's explore how age changes this inner orchestra and why a bit of targeted stimulation can bring the music back. Part 2. The first pressure point, the bass groove. Now that we understand the why, let's talk about the where. The first pressure point I want you to know about is called the bass groove. Imagine the very foundation of a house, the place where the structure meets the ground. If the foundation is weak, everything above it wobbles. In your body, this foundation sits at the root of your manhood, where the shaft blends into the pubic area. When you run your fingers along that spot, you may notice a slight indentation, almost like a hinge. It doesn't look like much, but beneath the skin lies a crossroads of nerves and blood vessels. It's like a busy train station where multiple tracks meet. Some trains carry blood, some carry nerve signals, and together they determine how strong your response will be. Why does this matter? Because stimulating the bass groove is like ringing the bell at that station. The nerves perk up, the vessels open wider, and suddenly the traffic flows more smoothly. For many men, this is the difference between sluggish circulation and a fuller, stronger response. Let me illustrate with a story. A gentleman I worked with named Harold was skeptical. "You mean just pressing here is going to change anything?" he asked with a laugh. But he agreed to give it 2 weeks. Each morning before getting out of bed, he pressed gently at the bass groove, making small circles with his thumb. The first few days, nothing remarkable happened, but by the end of the second week, Harold told me, "I woke up with warmth spreading through my lower body. Not like magic, but like my body remembered something it had forgotten." That was the moment he became a believer. Here's how you can try it yourself. Place your thumb over the bass groove while supporting the back of the shaft with your fingers. Apply gentle pressure, not too hard, just enough to feel the tissue underneath. Begin with small, slow circles. Think of it less as pressing a button and more as coaxing the body awake. Consistency is the secret. You may not notice much the first few times, but over days and weeks, your body learns. The nerves sharpen, the blood flows easier, and sensitivity slowly improves. And here's a small tip. Timing matters. Doing this first thing in the morning when you're naturally relaxed often produces better results. Some men also prefer to do it in a warm shower, letting the heat soften the tissue and amplify circulation. The bass groove is just one piece of the puzzle, but it sets the stage beautifully. Once you've woken up the foundation, it's time to move deeper into a hidden area most men overlook, but one that holds surprising power. Part 3. The second pressure point, the perineum. If the bass groove is the foundation, the perineum is like the engine room, often hidden from view, but working silently to keep everything running. This small patch of tissue, located between the scrotum and the anus, doesn't get much attention, yet in terms of sexual vitality, it's a powerhouse. Why? Because right beneath this spot lies the bulbospongiosus muscle, one of the key players in maintaining firmness. You could think of it as a natural clamp. Its job is to trap blood inside the penis once arousal begins, ensuring that the firmness doesn't fade too quickly. But here's the catch. Like any muscle, if it's neglected, it weakens. Over time, especially after 60, that weakness translates into softer or shorter-lived erections. Stimulating the perineum is like giving that muscle a wake-up call, a subtle workout without having to hit the gym. Imagine turning on a forgotten light switch in a dusty basement. The moment you press, energy flows where it hasn't in years. Let me give you an example. I once spoke with a retired firefighter named Alan. Tough, resilient, but frustrated. "I can start strong," he said, "but it doesn't last." I showed him how to gently press the perineum with 2 fingers, making small circles for just 2 minutes a day. After 3 weeks, Alan told me, "It felt like that part of my body woke up. I didn't expect much, but now I can actually feel the difference in control." Here's how you can explore this yourself. Sit comfortably in a chair or lie back with knees slightly apart. Use your index and middle fingers, pressing gently but firmly into the center of the perineum. Make slow circles, not fast, not forceful. Think of it like tuning an old radio, subtle adjustments that bring the signal back. Some men notice warmth spreading, others feel a faint pulsing. That's not coincidence. It's circulation improving and pelvic floor muscles responding. If you want an extra boost, combine this with simple Kegel exercises. The massage wakes the muscle, and the Kegels train it. Together, they create a stronger foundation of control. The perineum may be hidden, but its impact is undeniable. By paying attention to it, you're not just improving firmness, you're strengthening the very muscle that holds everything together when it matters most. Now, if the perineum is the engine, our final pressure point is the ignition switch, the place where signals spark and sensitivity reignites. Let's move to the corona of the glands, a ridge that holds the secret to reawakening responsiveness.
Part 4, the third pressure point, the corona of the glands. We've explored the foundation and the engine room. Now let's talk about the spark. At the very tip of your manhood lies the corona, that ridge where the head meets the shaft. It might seem obvious. After all, this is one of the most sensitive parts of the male anatomy, but when approached with the right technique, it becomes a powerful ignition switch for restoring responsiveness. Why here? Because the corona is densely packed with sensory nerves. These nerve endings are like tiny messengers, rushing signals to your spinal cord's erection center. When stimulated properly, they fine-tune the body's communication system, sharpening sensitivity and accelerating the transition from arousal to firmness. But here's the important part: more is not better. Too much pressure here can overwhelm the nerves, almost like blasting a microphone with feedback. What we're looking for is balance, gentle precision that teaches the nerves to wake up, not shut down. Here's a simple way to practice. Place your thumb and forefinger on either side of the corona. Gently pinch for 5 seconds, then release. Repeat for about a minute. Afterward, switch to slow circular motions around the ridge. Let your fingers glide, not with force, but with curiosity. One of my favorite stories about this point comes from a man named Victor, a 70-year-old grandfather of 5. "I thought sensitivity was gone for good," he admitted. "Then I tried this routine. The first week, nothing dramatic, but after a couple of weeks, it was like turning the volume back up. Subtle at first, then clearer. Now I feel sensations I honestly thought were lost forever." That's the essence of this point. It reconditions your nerves. Think of it as reminding your body of its younger habits, how to feel, how to respond, how to connect. Done consistently, it doesn't just improve morning vitality, it also brings back spontaneity during intimacy, making everything feel more natural and alive. The corona is the final stop in our journey through these 3 pressure points, but the real power comes when you see them not as isolated tricks, but as parts of a single flowing routine. Base groove, perineum, corona. Foundation, engine, spark. Together, they create a system that retrains your body and restores confidence. Now, let's pull it all together into a daily sequence you can follow. A short but powerful ritual that has helped countless men rediscover their morning strength. Part 5. The routine and daily practice. By now, you've learned about each point individually: the base groove, the perineum, and the corona. But just like separate instruments in an orchestra, the true magic happens when they play together. A daily sequence transforms these simple touches into a symphony of signals, circulation, and muscle strength. Think of this routine as your morning tune-up. Just a few minutes of focused practice can gradually retrain your body, reminding it of patterns that time has dulled but not erased. Here's the flow I recommend. 1. Start with the bass groove, 90 seconds. Place your thumb on the root, just where the shaft meets the pubic area. Make slow circles, pressing gently but deliberately. Imagine you're turning a key, unlocking communication between blood vessels and nerves. This warms up the foundation, encouraging circulation and nerve activation. 2. Move to the perineum, 2 minutes. Sit or lie comfortably, knees slightly apart. Press the soft tissue between scrotum and anus with your index finger and middle finger. Massage in steady circles, breathing deeply as you do. This activates the pelvic floor muscles, the natural clamp that helps you maintain firmness. 3. Finish with the corona, 2 minutes. Hold the ridge beneath the head gently between your thumb and forefinger. Pinch lightly for 5 seconds, release, repeat. After a minute, switch to gentle circular strokes around the rim. This sharpens sensitivity, reminding your nerves how to respond with clarity. Altogether, that's about 5 minutes a day. Not hours at the gym, not complicated regimens, just a focused, intentional practice. Now, let me share a real story. A man named Samuel, 67, had all but given up. "It's just age," he shrugged. "What can I do?" But he committed to this sequence daily, pairing it with a short walk and more water throughout his day. After 4 weeks, he told me, "I don't just feel changes in the morning. I feel lighter, more alive. My body feels like it's listening again." That's the power of consistency. You don't need perfection, you need persistence. Some mornings will feel stronger than others, but over time, the curve bends upward. Your system relearns, your confidence grows. And here's the bigger secret. This practice isn't only about erections, it's about reconnecting with your body. Those few minutes each day are a reminder that your health, your vitality, and your pleasure are still in your hands. Literally. So, as you practice, don't rush. Treat it like meditation. Breathe, relax, and let the routine become part of your rhythm. Over weeks and months, you'll notice not only physical changes, but also a renewed sense of control and confidence.
Part 6. Setting expectations and lifestyle boosters. Now, before you rush off thinking this routine is a magic switch, let's set the right expectations. Your body isn't a light bulb. It doesn't just flick on overnight. Think of it more like tending a garden. You water, you nurture, you give sunlight, and slowly, life begins to bloom again. With these pressure points, most men notice subtle changes within 2 to 4 weeks. It may begin with warmth in the mornings, a faint fullness that wasn't there before. Over time, that warmth becomes firmness, and firmness becomes reliability. But here's the truth. The real results belong to those who are patient and consistent. Take Michael, a 62-year-old musician. After 2 weeks, he was disappointed. "Nothing's happening," he sighed, but he kept going. By the 5th week, he said, "It was like my body finally remembered the rhythm. Not perfect, but real." Patience paid off. And while the pressure points are powerful, they don't work in isolation. Think of them as the spark. For the flame to keep burning, you need fuel. That's where lifestyle boosters come in. 1. Hydration. Your blood is the fuel for every erection. Without enough water, it's like trying to run a river on a trickle. Keep a bottle nearby, sip throughout the day, and watch how circulation responds. A simple habit with a powerful impact. 2. Nutrition. What you eat builds the very cells that carry blood and signals. Foods rich in antioxidants like berries, leafy greens, and pomegranates help keep blood vessels flexible. Healthy fats from salmon, nuts, and olive oil support hormone balance. And don't underestimate beets, nature's nitric oxide booster. 3. Pelvic floor exercises. Remember the perineum?
You can strengthen that muscle further with simple Kegels. Try tightening the same muscles you'd use to stop urination, hold for a few seconds, then release. Do a few sets daily. It's like sending your pelvic floor to the gym. 4. Movement. You don't need to run marathons. A 20-minute walk, light stretching, or a gentle yoga session keeps blood flowing and stress low. Both of those are critical for healthy function. 5. Rest and stress control. Erections are not just about the body, they're about the mind. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, which dampens libido and circulation. Sleep, meditation, prayer, or even simple breathing exercises can reset that balance. Here's a story to bring it home. George, 70, had always been skeptical of health advice. But when he combined the pressure point routine with better hydration and evening walks, something changed. He laughed when he told me, "I thought my wife was going to faint when I surprised her one morning. Not only did I feel stronger, I felt younger." That's the lesson. These small actions add up. Alone, they're simple. Together, they create an environment where your body can thrive again. So, as you continue your practice, remember this: the pressure points are your direct signal boosters, while lifestyle habits are the supportive pillars. One without the other can help, but when you combine them, you're stacking the deck in your favor. And now, as we approach the end of our journey, let's step back and reflect. Beyond science and routine, what deeper lessons can we carry from this? What's the bigger picture of health, vitality, and aging well?
Part 7. Final lessons. We've walked through the science, the pressure points, the routine, and the lifestyle choices that support it all. But before we close, let's step back and reflect on what this really means. Because at its core, this isn't only about erections, it's about reclaiming vitality, confidence, and connection at any age. Here are the lessons I hope you carry with you. 1. Your body isn't broken, it just needs reminding. Age may slow things down, but the systems are still there. The nerves, the muscles, the blood vessels, they haven't disappeared. They've simply grown quieter, waiting for a cue. Gentle pressure, practiced consistently, acts as that cue, like knocking on a door until someone answers. 2. Small actions create big results. 5 minutes a day may not sound like much, but those minutes compound. Day after day, they retrain your body's reflexes, sharpen nerve pathways, and restore circulation. Pair them with hydration, nutrition, and movement, and you'll discover that age is not the end of strength, it's a new chapter. 3. Confidence comes from connection. When morning vitality fades, it's easy for doubt to creep in. But as men begin to feel those changes return, even in subtle ways, confidence blooms again. And confidence spills into every part of life: relationships, energy, even the way you carry yourself. Let me leave you with one more story. A man named Leonard, 74, once told me, "I didn't realize how much of my self-esteem was tied to this until I lost it. And I didn't realize how much of it I could get back until I tried." After 2 months of steady practice, he wasn't just waking up stronger. He was standing taller, smiling more, and reconnecting with life in ways he thought were gone. So here's the truth, gentlemen. Weaker erections aren't a life sentence. They're a message from your body, a reminder that it needs attention and care. And the solution doesn't lie in a bottle or a risky procedure. It lies in your hands, your patience, and your willingness to practice. With just a few minutes each day, you can reawaken what time has dulled. You can rediscover that morning confidence. And most importantly, you can prove to yourself that vitality isn't lost with age, it evolves. And with the right habits, it can return stronger than you expect. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, give yourself this gift. A simple routine, a mindful practice, a moment of connection with your own body. Let it remind you that age may shape you, but it doesn't define you. Because you're not finished, you're just getting started.